It's Q&A day. I love answering questions. It gives me there are very few things that give me joy in this life, but helping folks out, especially with concrete, learning about concrete, answering questions, it's one of my favorite things to do. That being said, so we're starting a project. We're doing the impossible, because that's what intelligent concrete is all about. But we've got a project coming up. We talked about it before. We're going to put the link below to the hydronic heating system that we've already talked about. And I really want to do this. We're going to set up a day next week. Patchouli and I just talked about it. She actually came up with the idea. So if anybody gets blamed for throwing this on the last minute, it's Patchouli! We're going to be making up a slab while it's in below freezing conditions, and we're going to use the hydronic heating system that we can set up using just Home Depot materials and a concrete blanket. But we're going to do it in a last minute effort. So we'll find out when it's about to freeze, and that day we'll make like a 5-foot or a 10-foot by 10-foot slab, and we'll use that hydronic heating system to control the temperature as it goes from below freezing and when we pour it, all the way through when we have to rip and strip that blanket off and reduce the risk of thermal cracking from thermal shock. So, our plan is, and this is just the outline of that plan, we find out 24 hours ahead of time that we're going to be below freezing conditions. We've already gathered materials, so that's taken care of. We have to create the site, which is form it up for a 4-inch thick slab, maybe 5-inch thick slab. We'll be using some fibers, but more steel reinforcement, so set up the reinforcement on the frogs. Within that 24-hour period, we pour it right before sunset. So just enough time for us to have sunlight to pour the slab, but so that when we finally put the blankets on top of the slab, the sun has set. So we get that maximum amount of time of freezing conditions. And then what we're going to do is set up our hydronic heating, maybe temperature controlling system, where all the supplies are from Walmart, or a majority of the supplies, I think that's fair, are from Walmart. And not only do we control the heat of hydration to get that maximum activation energy and that set time and that hardening time to stop the reduction in strength from freezing, but we also control the temperature. Can't keep going further, I'm going to be off camera. But we also control the temperature so that when we strip the blankets, we don't induce thermal cracking from thermal shock. It's a very, very scary timeline, and we have to have that element of surprise. Again, Patchouli's idea. So if the resources group gets mad at me, it was Patchouli's fault. But the greatest part of that timeline, and the greatest part about what we're trying to do, is to create the urgency. And we're never going to create that urgency that you see on a real job site. This is not a real job site. We're going to be making a slab out here or at a buddy's house. So even though we're trying to create the urgency, it is only, it barely holds a candle to what is experienced out in the field, but we're trying to simulate that and the possibility of failure. And if it does fail, we want you to see it. And we want you to recognize, just like we will, why that failure occurred. But based off of the end of this, just to bring it all together, that resolution, the reason why you're doing this is because we know, shoot, we live in the state, we got negative 15 degrees last week. The reality is, if you pour out here, you have to be able to pour on days, especially when other people aren't comfortable doing it. But when we get below freezing conditions, as long as you can get concrete, you can still pour it using techniques like this. So we're excited to get the kick the tires and light the fires to get this started. And let us know if you have any questions until then. But you'll see, what is it going to be, a 3-part series, a 4-part series, maybe a 3-part series, part 1, 2, and 3 to be continued. Thanks for joining us today. Let us know if you got any concrete questions, concrete concerns. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you do, you'll get entered into a drawing to win a handheld Penetrometer. Thanks again for your time. Have a great day. Go Concrete! Beat Asphalt!